Hi, everybody. Welcome to the BDNY Meet webinar. We're just going to give it a few more seconds. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the BDNY Meet webinar. My name is Jana Roche. I'm the sales director for BDNY. Thanks for joining us today. We've put together this webinar to help you understand how to use the matchmaking platform and how it's such a great tool to use to connect with potential customers at the fair. So hopefully you'll find it valuable. First, I wanted to introduce the BDNY sales and marketing team on the call. We have Adam Morris, Tim Fierney, who is our show director, and Nicole Panzica. And on the marketing side, we have Ron Denny, Katie Saria, Jennifer Yarber, and Shelly Demry, who will be leading the webinar. And if anybody has any questions during the webinar, just feel free to put your question in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and then we'll try to get to those throughout the call. So Shelly, I'll let you take it from here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I will start by saying that the welcome email that will have the link to this event platform and kind of give you access to everything will be sent in just a few weeks. So don't panic if you haven't gotten the email yet. You don't need to search through your spam filter. I promise it is coming, but we wanted to make sure that you had all the resources available in advance and you have the opportunity to ask any questions. That way, when you do get access, you're ready to hit the ground running. So in that welcome email you'll get in just a few weeks, you'll have a link that will kind of pre-fill your login details for the first time. When you log in for the first time, you'll use the email you used to register, and then you'll use what we call a badge ID, which is almost like your unique identifier. Once you've entered these two things, you'll make a password. This is like a one-time, creating of an account. This will be the same login credentials you use for the mobile app when you're on the show floor, as well as the desktop version. So once you make your account for the first time, you're ready to rock and roll. So once you've created your account, you'll log in and you'll be presented with kind of an initial user onboarding process. From here, you have the option to update your profile if you need to make any last minute changes. This is specific for you as an individual participant. It will not update what's on your company's profile or any of those related kind of products and features. So this is just if you need to go in and make a quick change to what you've had in your registration, you can. The next bit is going to be how you're able to allow those you interact with to see your contact details. It's a preference. You can adjust this as you see fit. And then the last thing that I will show you is the most important screen, but it is a special screen only for the first person from your company to log in. So if you are user number one and you log in for within the event platform on behalf of your team and you are the first person to log in, you'll get this one bonus screen with a toggle that says create your team now to maximize engagement with event participants. Please leave this toggle on. This is what basically creates like that sticky lamp for all of the flies and collects all of that traffic. So it, again, does not change anything on your company's profile. It's just a way to kind of activate that kind of mini office or CRM within the event platform for you. And it's super, super important that when you do get that welcome email, you do take the opportunity to log in, create your team, make sure that you're able to kind of access everything effectively, because this is where you'll be able to kind of create that, again, that like sticky mat for the flies, and it kind of catches everything. So once you've got this team, anything related to you, your company, your products, your show specials, your press releases, as participants engage and interact with those different profiles within the event platform, that all gets tracked as inbound leads for your company. It's really, really important to understand this is not retroactive. So if you wait till the very last second to do this step, you unfortunately will be missing out on a ton of activity with your company. So I do strongly encourage when that welcome email comes through that you really do jump on that opportunity and you create your team. The team name that you add here doesn't affect anything with your profile. It's just kind of an internal name for you and your colleagues. But once you've done that, you are ready to rock and roll. So that's the very kind of quick and painless onboarding process. Again, first time only. And then from there, you're good with that email and password you use to register and create your account. If you ever need to go back and change something on your profile after you've initially logged in, you can always go back and edit your profile. But again, this should be everything that you've provided during registration. And it really is, like if needed, you can go back and make those changes. If there are points throughout the event where you know for sure you will not be able to take meetings, if you're only going for one of the days, or you have an afternoon where you have to step away from the show floor, you can kind of block out your calendar within the event platform. Otherwise, it's no problem to reschedule, but if you know definitively you won't be able to, you can certainly kind of block out your calendar within the event platform preemptively. So you'd be able to either like block out an entire day or chunks of time, whatever makes the most sense for your kind of schedule. These are, again, all individual edits. You can always go back and make these changes if you need to. That is totally all right. So once you've done that initial process, less than 5 minutes, get your team active, you will see a My Team section in the top right corner. And from here, it is where you and your colleagues will collaborate really effectively to kind of, again, look through all the activity and volume and engagement with your company's profile, your colleagues' profile, any of those products, show specials, press releases, anything that is connected to your company will drive kind of traffic for your team. So first and foremost, you'll see the meetings that you and your colleagues are having. If you know definitively who you want to meet with and you kind of just know their name off the top of your head, you can always create a meeting directly from this page. You also can book meetings on behalf of your colleagues. So if you know someone's looking to meet with a potential customer, you can always swap out this representative field and book on behalf of someone else. And then based on that kind of mutual availability, it will tell you when and where that person can meet. So one thing to point out from this screen is that there is a pending meeting limit. And this is not a meeting limit. It's just a limit on how many invitations can be sent at one time. For this event, it's 40. So please be thoughtful with those invitations. As recipients of meeting invites either accept or decline those invitations, that number will kind of bounce back up. That bank will go back up to 40. So just be mindful of that as you make the invitations and send those out. The inbound lead section is going to be where you're able to make those kind of assessments of who is engaging with you, your company's profile, any of those associated profiles, and then act on that. So what you're able to do is see kind of where that person came from and why they're an inbound lead. And then you have a couple options either to show mutual interest in their kind of in that person, request a meeting if it makes sense, or you have the option to add lead notes. And it's very nifty to keep everything directly in the event platform. You do have the opportunity to export all of this activity post-show. So from there, kind of keep everything at your fingertips within the event platform as you're going through the pre-event, event itself. And then you will be able to take everything with you back into your CRM post-event. So a very nifty way to kind of keep everything in one place. You can use the little @ symbol to tag a colleague. So very collaborative. If you kind of meet with someone on the show floor, but you want your colleague to take it away and continue the conversation, a very easy way to do that. Erica, yes, this recording will be shared after the webinar. So it will be even before the portal is live. So we will get that to you after the webinar ends. When it comes to contacts, that's going to be how you're able to go back and look through the people you have qualified. So super, super kind of important step is either to say, yes, I'm interested, or book that meeting. That way they are considered a qualified lead. If you think about it, kind of like LinkedIn, you want to make that handshake, that connection. And at that point, you're able to chat with that person, be able to go back and add those notes and lead scores. And from this particular page, there really isn't anything to action. It's just more so you can go back and review this table if you need to find someone that you'd connected with earlier. A very easy way to kind of see who you've already connected with. So nothing to do from here, just a nice, really kind of customizable table. The next bit is going to be your team members. So if you remember, the first person who logs in gets that bonus screen during that onboarding process. You by default as the first person become the admin for your team. But I do like to say it does not really give you a whole bunch of different permissions. The big thing that it does, which really isn't a big thing, is that you're now able to edit your colleagues' individual profiles and individual availability. So everyone's able to qualify leads, export post-show like activity, book meetings on behalf of each other. The big thing is, as an admin, can pop into Courtney's profile, edit her personal profile, edit her personal availability, or I can make my life easier and make everyone an admin, so whoever needs to make edits to each other can do so, if that makes sense. But don't be panicked if you're not an admin. You can still do just about everything that most participants need to do. You just wouldn't be able to edit like your colleague's individual experience. When it comes to your company profile, your product profiles, your show specials, your press releases, to make your life easy, you're not going to manage things in two places. All of your changes will happen directly in the exhibitor dashboard, and then those changes will reflect in the event platform accordingly. So just that you're not kind of like double duty, everything from the exhibitor dashboard will reflect here. You'll see kind of like a grayed out error message. Don't be alarmed. That's intentional. Just make all of those changes as necessary directly in that exhibitor portal. So not doing twice the work. The last bit is going to be the export. So again, once those inbound leads, meetings get booked, you've qualified those inbound leads and they've become your contacts, you're then able to make either CSV or Excel spreadsheets from that data. You'll get all of those lead scores, the notes, kind of the history of that individual, all available to you as an export. So a really nice way to, again, centralize all of your activity. And then from there, take everything out of the event platform, upload it into your CRM, and continue the conversation as needed. As an FYI, the event platform will be available for you an entire month after the show ends. So if you don't like jump on it the day the show ends, that's totally okay. Once you get back to the office, get settled in, you're able to kind of continue accessing the event platform, do that export, and kind of continue the conversation from there. So don't feel the need to like panic as you're tearing your booth down. Totally fine. Before I move into the mobile version of this, any other questions I can answer around this whole kind of mini office, mini CRM that you'll have access to? Alrighty, I'll keep going then. Within the event platform, so far we've shown you kind of how you can manage what's coming inbound. If you wanted to do some outbound, you can do so one of a couple different ways. So if you know, again, like exactly who you're looking for, you do have the option to use the search bar at the very top, search for them by name, by job title, something in their summary. You're able to search that way. Kind of the more painful route. We have a couple better options for you. The first being recommended for you. So this is going to take everything on your profile and everything on everyone else's profile and kind of match you up based on what you're offering and what they're seeking and make those recommendations based on that information. So you'll get kind of batches of 10 recommendations where you're able to say, yes, it's a good fit. No, thank you. Even if it's to go through and say, no, these aren't good fits, it's still really helpful to really kind of improve the recommendations as the event goes on. So do take a few minutes to kind of sift through those recommendations, either show interest in that person and that profile. You can immediately go to requesting a meeting, or you can say that no thanks, that's skip. Interested in you is the inverse. So if I have received an interest in my profile, this will be where I can act on that and either reciprocate it, again, a no thank you, which is always undoable, or requesting a meeting. I do want to mention that anything that you're doing as an individual will always kind of feed back up into your company's experience. So anything that you're doing on this kind of main section of the event platform will all roll up to your company. So don't have to worry about doing things again twice or doing extra work. All of your individual activity will also roll up to your company. The last option is again a bit more manual, but if you wanted to search specifically by, a series of filters, and look for someone with a specific job function or a specific subspecialty, you do have the option to scroll the attendee list and use a series of filters to be able to find exactly who you're looking for. Same thing from here, you do have the option for showing interest or requesting a meeting. Bearing in mind that kind of global pending meeting limit of 40. So using the invitations with thoughtfulness. But those are kind of the outbound ways you're able to kind of build traffic for your show days. The other thing you're able to do is the event agenda. If you wanted to bookmark sessions for yourself in between the meetings that you're having, you can do so from here. Again, a series of filters to find exactly what you're looking for, and then you can add them to your schedule. What's really nice, and I do encourage you to do ahead of time, is once you've kind of booked your meetings, you've bookmarked your sessions that you're looking to attend, even if it's ahead of that, you can subscribe to your event schedule so that it's populated directly on your work calendar. A very nice way to kind of keep things visible from your personal calendar without being in the event platform. So when you pop into your My Schedule section, you'll see an option to sync to your calendar. From here, you'll pick your calendar provider, and then it will give you like a special link specifically for your show experience. So a nice way to be able to keep track of everything in one place. If you need to kind of juggle both like outside meetings and show meetings at the same time on your personal calendar. Before I move into the mobile app, which is a bit more kind of handheld on the go version of this, anything I can answer here? I know I can see him typing, so I don't want to double dip, but anything so far around the My Team section, lead qualification, exporting, networking that I can answer? No. All right. We'll jump into the mobile app, which is again the kind of on the go mobile, quite literally, version of the event platform. Again, to reiterate, this is a prototype. It will look the tiniest bit different, but the functionality will be the same. From here, you'll use, again, that same email, same password to gain access to the mobile app, where you'll see basically almost like a circle. If you think about a Venn diagram, the desktop version, the mobile app version in your pocket, just about the same, but how you get certain places may look a little bit different. So from here, you've got a couple kind of hotkeys, things that are really very relevant as you're going through the event days to keep at your fingertips. If you're waiting in line at Starbucks and you are bored, you can use the recommendations section to basically kind of swipe through those recommendations that you had on your desktop version, but in a bit more kind of mobile friendly way. From here, you're able to kind of, yes, I'm interested, no, I'm not, go through those recommendations, send meeting invites or connection requests, and then go from there. Floor plan will be available for you on the mobile app as well. So you're able to use kind of like that turn-by-turn functionality. I'm starting from here. I want to go here. How do I get there? And it will populate based on the kind of best route for you. But the really important stuff is along the bottom, those kind of 5 buttons. Your homepage will always take you back to this kind of main space. The chats section will take you to those who you've connected with. So on the mobile app where you're seeing chats, those are your connections. And again, your personal connections. So as you make those individual either meetings that get confirmed or you make those connection requests and they get accepted, that will kind of populate here, all of it rolling back up to your company. But what you can do from here, similarly to on the desktop version, you can pop in, request a meeting, but you also have the ability to leave those lead details the scoring and the notes on the go as well. So from here, if you have a conversation on the show floor, you want to leave a note for yourself about good conversation, not so great conversation. Johnny, can you follow up with this person? All of that can happen kind of directly from your phone. Same @ symbol to tag your colleagues. And then from there, you're able to export everything post show. So ideally here, it's trying to make your life easier, keep it all in one place, kind of create a centralized source for all of your event activity. The schedule, very similar to the desktop version. You have the option to filter through things, find the sessions you're looking for. And then from there, same thing with your personal schedule. You'll see the option to sync it to your calendar. It will give you that same custom link, and then you can add it to your personal calendar if you didn't do that kind of in advance on the desktop version. And then from there, you're ready to rock and roll. This again will be both sessions that you've bookmarked and meetings that you've got either pending, confirmed. So you can keep everything into a single kind of line of activity within the event platform and also within your personal calendar if you subscribe. This last bit is going to be the notifications. Highly, highly encourage you to turn these on. It becomes kind of like your lifeline for the activity happening during the event. Accepting meeting requests, rescheduling meeting requests, requests to connect. Once you kind of initially loaded this page, you'll be able to see all of those different bits of activity that are happening in the event, as well as any sort of kind of updates for the event itself. And then the very last bit is going to be this more menu, which is kind of like your I'm lost, help me back. This more menu will kind of be a static list of all the different shortcuts throughout the event. So if you ever don't know where to go, really great place to kind of fall back to this more menu. This is kind of like that pop-out menu that will show you every possible shortcut you can get to, and will be readily at your fingertips. So this is the on-the-go version. Really can't kind of emphasize strongly enough, super, super, super important that when you get that welcome email in just a few weeks, that you do take the moment, less than 5 minutes, log in, make sure that everything looks good in terms of your access, you're able to get into everything, you see that My Team section, and that way, as the participants of the event begin to engage with all those different profiles, you're able to act on that as quickly as possible. So I will stop for a second if there are any other questions about the event platform. I know Ron was able to answer a couple as well I was going through, but anything else that I can answer while we've got these kind of references? I always take silence as a good thing, which maybe isn't a good thing, but any other questions, anything I can reiterate, anything from the event team that maybe I've missed that would be a helpful kind of nugget for the audience. But otherwise, this is the kind of top to bottom orientation of the event platform for your desktop version, the mobile app version that you'll keep in your pocket on the go. But I will stop sharing unless any other questions come in. Give it just another second. Yes, Deirdre, we will be sharing the recording after this webinar. You'll be able to go back and reference this as well as some additional resources to make sure that you've got all of the support you need. Perfect. So you should be receiving a welcome email in just a few weeks that will give you the login and the access to both the desktop and the mobile app version. From there, you'll be able to kind of create your account and access everything with that same email and password that you set across both like the desktop browser version and the mobile app version. Just a few weeks, of course. Katie, each individual who is registered should receive their own email. You'll use the email address you used to register to log in. It is important to note that to access the event platform, you do have to be registered. So if there are any questions around registration, do reach out to your sales exec to make sure that they are registered appropriately. But that email will go out to every individual user. So it's not like a group login. Each individual will have their own login. But great question. Yes, Deirdre, to that that question, yes, everyone on your team will be able to use the app. And then from there, you will see kind of like attribution. So you can see where those kind of leads and contacts came from. If it was Deirdre and Shelly had a connection versus Johnny and Deirdre had a connection. So it is, again, the idea being that you can kind of use this as your main hub for event traffic, and keep all of that in your CRM when the time comes. But great questions. Anything else that I can answer? All right. I will stop sharing for just a moment, pass it back to Jana for just a few closing remarks. And thank you again for your time. We'll send out the recording in just a bit.
Thanks, Shelley. Thank you guys for coming today, for joining us. And as she mentioned, we'll get this emailed out to you shortly with a recording, and let us know if you have any other questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Everybody.